Hey everybody, how you doing out there in YouTube land, Snapchat land, and all the other Periscopes lands that we have in this social media network and internet that we've put together? I want to tell you happy Monday. It's the third week of the year, the 16th day, and happy MLK Day. I'm here today to talk to you about our third motivational step. This week is going to be paramount for you. This week is going to be awesome for you. Why? Because number one, we're going to live in Psalms 51:6. Behold, thou desirest that I know truth in my inward parts, and in my hidden parts thou shalt make me to know wisdom. This week I need you to focus on three things. One, deal and address your issues. Before we can move forward, before we can go after our destiny, before we can go after our goals and our dreams, we have to address our issues, have to deal with our faults, have to deal with our hangups, have to deal with the things that have caused us to miss out and lose out. We have to deal with those things that we have in our life that we don't want to focus on, or we don't want to talk about, or we don't want to feel again, or that we've buried in the deep recesses of our mind. Number one, we have to deal with that. So this week, take out some time, get a pad and a pencil and a paper, and deal with those issues, deal with those faults, deal with those hurts, deal with those pains. Now, number two, once you deal with those hurts and once you deal with those pains, begin to understand that you have to be willing to expose. Begin to expose those self-hurts, those self-pains, those self-fault. Be willing to expose those times that you made yourself vulnerable. Be willing to expose those times that you were hurt. Be willing to expose those times that you felt misunderstood and those times that you did not feel like you were wanted. Begin to expose them. Why? Because you cannot deal with a wound until you clean it. You cannot deal with the wound until you actually accept the fact that it's a wound. Number three, ask God to give you the wisdom to confront your findings. Some of you have some things in your life that you've never ever dealt with before. Some things in your life that you've never ever understood, or some hurts or some pains that you just let go and put in your mind and just walked away from. This week in 2017, in order for you to feel prosperous, in order for you to feel lifted up, in order for you to feel great and move forward in life, you're going to have to deal with those things, and you can't deal with them alone. Remember, I can do all things, but I do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Ask God to give you the wisdom to deal with your faults, to give you the wisdom to confront your issues, to give you the wisdom to go ahead and move forward. Why? Because in 2017, if you want to move forward and you want to be great, you're going to have to acknowledge the fact that you brought some baggage to the party, that you brought some mess to the table, and you got up and walked away from some situations not at the right time in the right moment. Be willing to understand that you must move forward. This week, take time to honestly deal with yourself and deal with your issues, and ask yourself the question, am I holding myself back? Am I allowing past fears and last hurts to keep me from marching into my future? We want greatness on this year, and I want greatness for you. Remember, I can do all things. You can do all things. But before we can do that, before we can move forward, one, we must deal with our issues. Two, we must expose our hurts. Three, we have to ask God for wisdom to move forward. Remember, this is 2017. A new you, a new me. I can do all things. You can do all things. Let's be about our Father's business. Let's go forward and be great. I'll talk to you next week.